Hello, dear listener, and welcome to lucky number 13, episode 13 of Smarks of Attitude. This is Reese, and joining me as always is Harry. Say hello, Harry.
Hello, Reese. You okay?
I'm okay, thank you very much. Yeah, wrestling. Wrestling's fun, isn't it?
It is. It is. When it's good, it's the best thing in the world. When it's bad, it's abominable. So...
This is true. I suppose we might touch upon both the very good and the bad this episode. Maybe. I'm struggling to think of anything that was truly atrocious, but I'm sure we might find something. Who knows? But let's start with something that's rarely bad and usually very good. NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. The usual before. Is it just the big four WWE events now they do a takeover? Are there four takeovers a year?
I don't think so. That's a good question that I don't actually have the answer to.
Rumble, Mania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. Does that sound right?
I'm just trying to think what was last year.
Was last year wasn't. I don't think they had the London one last year, but that was a takeover, wasn't it?
They definitely had one in Orlando.
Yep, WrestleMania.
They had one in San Antonio, which was at Rumble.
Rumble, yeah.
So we got those two. Chicago, San Antonio for Rumble, Orlando for WrestleMania, Chicago for that must be like Money in the Bank or something.
Yeah, could well be.
Brooklyn 3.
That is SummerSlam,
and then War Games. So 5.
Yeah.
Did I just...
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. It is really the big 5 now, isn't it? Because Money in the Bank's...
Apparently it's treated as such, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I dare say it's more important than Survivor Series, so...
Right, well, let's quickly run through NXT TakeOver. We had the worst stable name ever. I think all three wrestlers are amazing, but the Undisputed Era is a terrible name. So yeah, the Undisputed Era defended their tag team titles against the Authors of Pain, and they won. This was a pretty good match. I thought it was quite slow at times, but it was entertaining.
Yeah, played to the advantages of the Authors of Pain, but they obviously had to keep the Undisputed Era quite strong.
Yeah, very, very good example of storytelling in wrestling. That whole knee, like working the knee, and then as they did their finisher, his knee kind of buckled and he turned it into a Hurricanrana, which he turned into a roll-up, and they got the win. I thought that was really well done. Yeah,
played into the end with the failed Super Collider. But I thought it was a good match. No idea where they're going to go with the Authors of Pain now. It looks obvious that they're going to be called up at any moment, and with all NXT tag teams, it's probably a bit weird. You know,
they need to go to Raw, I think. Yeah.
Well, they'll probably job out the Ascension.
Well, everyone does that.
If they go to SmackDown, everyone does that. But no, it was a decent tag team match.
Yes, it was followed by Velveteen Dream and Cassius Ohno, which was I think the general feeling about this match is that everyone likes both competitors. Velveteen Dream appears to be doing quite well in his young career, but this match was ruined by a couple of botches and some people saying like the inexperience of Dream, like the way he rushes maybe in his offense and stuff like that. I thought it was a fairly decent match. I didn't think it was amazing, but I watched it thinking that Velveteen Dream has got an incredible amount of potential, and I quite enjoy watching him.
I would dare say on NXT, he's probably the second best character on that show after Aleister Black. He's just come so far, and his absence through most of the build up towards this takeover show was he was sorely missed.
Yeah,
but I think he's fantastic. Considering he's 22, isn't he, Patrick?
22, 23, something like that. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
He's got plenty of time. Again, I have the same sentiments with a lot of people. There was a few botches in the match, but it's to be expected. It's only Dream's second takeover match, and he's only had a handful of matches prior to this as the actual Dream itself, as opposed to himself.
He had a great match with Gargano on NXT TV.
Yes, he did. No, that was fantastic, and even against Aleister Black previously, which was one of my favourite storylines.
Very good match, yeah.
It was, yeah. So, I really like this match, even with the shortcomings.
Cool. We had the NXT Women's Championship after that. Ember Moon defended her title against Shayna Baszler, which with her MMA gimmick, which is quite an important thing this weekend, some might think.
Yeah, we might have to come back to that.
Yeah, Ember Moon won. Shayna basically ragdolled her for a bit, got her in a lot of submissions. Did Ember win with a roll up or something? Yeah, she did it, right?
Yes, she did. It was
Yeah.
basically she got battered most of the match and then managed to pull something together at the very end. I think
Mm,
she counted a arm breaker.
yes, I think you're right.
Literally was like the closest of close finishes. And
Mm,
then afterwards, she gets I think she gets battered anyway. So they're trying to keep Baszler looking really strong. Is it no, it sounds daft. It is Baszler, isn't it? I'm pronouncing it right, yeah.
Shayna Baszler. Yeah, I think
That's
that's right.
fine, yeah. But
Yeah.
I thought this match was pretty meh overall. Ember's
Mm,
great. Shayna, it's obviously her first major match that isn't a total squash. They obviously try to protect her a lot because they need to keep that, her character alive as such. But
yeah.
it was pretty meh.
Yeah, I agree. Right, talking. Well, matches that weren't meh. We had Aleister Black and Adam Cole. Bye bye. Extreme Rules match. This was great.
Yes, I was pleasantly surprised. I thought these two would deliver, but they seemed to go well above it. It was a very good PG era Extreme Rules match, or hardcore match, I
Yes,
should
it was
say.
actually quite violent.
It was. It was the bit on the chair where
Oh
the
god, yeah,
lands on it, and you're like, that's excruciating because there's nothing to break the fall. But
yeah, and it would never happen on the main roster.
yeah, exactly. And both men had so many little nips and cuts on their bodies and stuff, and it's
Yeah,
like,
what was it? Adam Cole had a cut hand, which
yes.
was evident in the Rumble the night after.
And they
And I
did
think
a match
Alistair Black,
stoppage as well.
yeah, and Alistair Black didn't he cut? He had a little cut on his back, didn't he?
Yeah, that, and I think there was some on his legs as well. Obviously,
Yeah,
where they get nipped all the time, and they do bleed quite a bit as well. And obviously, they do work at like quite a fast tempo, so the sweat mixes up, and it looks much worse than it is. But
because
no,
he
this
gets
was
that
a
colour.
yeah. I always think of Mick Foley when he was explaining when one of his boys got I think a cut gum or something. He says you got to mix it up with spit to make it look 100 times worse, and lo and behold, it does work. But no, this was a really good match, appropriate for the crowd. Obviously because of Philadelphia in the EC dub background.
Yeah, they're not silly with the booking, are they?
No, they give the crowds compared to the WWE, which is terrified of giving their audience what they want because they'll get used to it, which seems to be a terrible thing.
Mm,
Takeovers seem to at least accommodate for their crowds and their backgrounds. They obviously knew
yeah,
Philadelphia again, EC Dub, give them a hardcore match, give them something to cheer about.
ECW, yes.
Oh well, that's what they say.
Um, that was followed by the main event, a 5-star classic according to Dave Meltzer, and pretty much the whole of the wrestling fandom world. Andrade Cien Almas defended his NXT championship against Johnny Gargano in what is being heralded as the best WWE match since. Well, the last WWE match to get 5 stars from Meltzer was Punk and Cena at Money in the Bank, but I think that was actually more to do with the storyline elements than the actual wrestling itself. So this could be the best. This could be the best
Pure
WWE
wrestling match.
match, yeah, for well, God, a very long time.
I would dare say I'll play devil's advocate with you. Did you prefer this match to Jericho Omega and Okada and Naito at Wrestle Kingdom?
We have discussed this off air. That's a good term to
Okay.
use.
Yeah.
And I probably
Breaking kayfabe, Reese.
when you said that this was probably the best match of the year, at first I thought, oh, Wrestle Kingdom. Then the more I thought about it, the more I kind of just agree. Yeah, I think I enjoyed this match more than I enjoyed both of those matches, and I enjoyed both of those matches a great deal. So yeah, I think goes without saying this was a 5-star match. It was excellent, and I didn't know a great deal about Andrade Cien Almas before this. I kind of know about Johnny Gargano. I've seen a lot of footage of him and his indie days and whatnot. You know, he's very well known. He was very well known when he was on the indies, but I didn't actually know much about Almas. And I did a lot of reading up on him, and I didn't realize that he was. I mean, it's probably ignorant on my part, but he was it La Sombra in
Yes,
CMLL?
that's it.
And
Yeah.
Yeah, he toured Japan a fair bit with New Japan. He was one of the founding members of Los Ingobernables, which is
Yes, there was.
obviously which is the original stable where Naito and Lij then developed on from that, or they created the Japanese chapter. Anyway, I didn't realize he's a huge star, really, Mexican
Yeah, it was.
star.
That's why it was such a big deal when he joined NXT and he didn't have his
Hmm.
mask. It was a really big deal for him because it was like, oh shit, they've already got an established character in La Sombra, and yet they're going to go with him being Cien Almas.
I did look into that because, and I think maybe his last or maybe one of his last matches in CMLL was a mask match, or can't remember what the term is, but he did lose his mask on his last match. So I think that was more a case of, well, if you're going to America, you're not fucking wearing the mask. So see you later.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he could have come with a different character as such, but if it is something like a respect thing, or maybe just again similar to Del Rio, who wore a mask for a time in Mexico. Maybe it was just he wanted to go over as like a character closer to himself as opposed to like a masked luchador. But
Yeah.
I think he has again. He's come like dividends. He's come so far with Zelina Vega that he literally
Mm.
is at this point one of the most impressive heels in NXT. When as before he spent, I think the first, safe to say, the first 2 years, maybe even up until middle of last year, just like floundering. Whereas now he is a
Really,
credible threat
yeah.
as champion.
Well, the Selena Vega thing's very interesting because obviously he does play a heel, but whenever I watch it, I always think that basically she's the heel, and he's quite smiley and quite arrogant. He does that, that Mexican arrogance that I always thought Del Rio did quite well when he was in his heelish mode. And but he just I don't know if it's a case that his English isn't too good, so she has to do a lot of talking for him. But she's very heelish, and he just kind of like goes with it. And I always think maybe she really is a big driving force for him.
I
Obviously,
think
in the
that
ring, he's great, and he puts on really good matches, and he has got a really good move set. But yeah, I can't help but be incredibly impressed with her.
yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to when she eventually goes into the NXT women's division. But I think, see, I can't. I'm trying to remember this now. Almost did turn heel, and I think he still lost regardless. And then obviously she's been the driving force with his massive career resurgence.
Mm.
So it's you can go from a storyline perspective and say Almas is still bad, but it's her who's really pushed him to superstardom as such.
Yeah, yeah, no,
But
you're right.
this match is hilarious in hindsight because I'm thinking it does have a lot of similarities between Naito and Okada, where
Mm.
the match didn't have the outcome that the audience wanted, but it still delivered and it was like very impressive and entertaining for him. And it went over 30 minutes and it just seemed to fly
Yeah.
by. And there was the quick exchanges at the start where there's like chain wrestling. You can tell both are like trying to like outdo one another. And then there's the middle section where it's just relentless action over and over again. And then you just crescendo to the end. And it's just fantastic. That's the best way to
Mm.
describe it. If you ever wanted to see, like, again, a 5-star WWE match, because they're very few and far between, apart from, I mean, I would have pushed to say Dunn and Bate last year probably did deserve like some sort of bigger accolade than what Meltzer gave it. But
Yeah.
I thought,
Yeah.
yeah, again, I thought this was a fantastic match, absolutely fantastic. If you've never, for whatever reason, never seen NXT, this would probably be a very good gateway. That particular match.
Mm. Yeah, and obviously the show ended with the old copyright symbol swerve, and I'm probably going to get his. I don't know how to pronounce it properly. Is it Champa?
Tommaso Ciampa.
Made a little return and beat up Gargano with his crutch. Still looks a bit injured, so I don't know if that was a work or whatever.
I
But yeah,
think
there you go.
I think it was just a reminder that he's still, playing in the
That's what I
background, and they
thought.
are
Yeah.
still turning up. So, and I forgot to mention as well, Candice LeRae as well in this match.
Yep.
Again, a
Very.
nice little touch to the match as well. And again, looking forward to her going into the NXT Women's Division.
Yes, Johnny's real life wife.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, and that was NXT.
So, how did the Royal Rumble compare, Reese?
I'd say this was probably the best Royal Rumble I've watched in a good few years.
Is that the gents or the ladies?
I mean, the event in general.
Oh, the event in general. Well, I think one word can probably be the most negative annotation with it, which is pacing. But we'll probably get to that when we actually go through the
I don't.
matches.
I don't think they were ever gonna have good pacing with two Rumble matches. I
No,
just think that's impossible.
no, of course not. You can't have two 1 hour matches, one after the other.
Mm.
But
But
there
then,
could have.
yeah, but then it's hard to then have two 1 hour matches on the same card. I mean, there's only two matches in between them, and those two matches combined were like 22, 23 minutes. I don't think the crowd was suitably rested for the women's rumble, but then again, I think they did pick up towards the end.
I think this
But
pay per view had three major moments, which was the opening WWE Championship match. There was the men's Royal Rumble, and bits of tell a lie, bits of the Universal Title match and bits of the women's Rumble. But we'll
right,
get to what those bits were for those two particular matches.
indeed. So, as always, did you watch the pre-show?
Of course I did, Reese. I have no life.
I did not watch the pre-show, so can you please tell me what happened on the pre-show, please?
Can do. And my first note literally says 2 hour pre-show. I torture myself with these big four shows.
2 hours.
2 hours, right? If you don't watch it, every big four pay-per-view has a 2 hour pre-show. And usually 3 pre-show matches. So let's run through them. David Otunga's back on the panel with Jerry Lawler, and I've put it's a panel of formerly suspended analyzers.
Yep.
I'm not even going to get into that. Interview with Bliss, who comes across as quite likeable and a predictable promo on how massive the women's rumble is. Obviously, I didn't have a clue that Steph was going to basically reiterate every single point she would make. She's very likeable, though, Alexa Bliss.
Isn't she a heel?
Yes, but she's just really likeable. She tries to pull it back, but you can tell that she's quite a sweet lass. There's a backstage promo with Seth, Jason, Chad, and Shelton, although Seth leaves pretty early, can be best described in 3 words: total bants, lol.
Right.
Our first match is Kalisto, Graham Metalik, and Lince Dorado versus TJP, Gentleman Jack Gallagher, and Drew Gulak. First note says 6-man tag team filler. What is this, New Japan? Also, the venue's only been open for 20 minutes at this point, so it's noticeably empty. So they prepare for extreme close-ups and PowerPoint chants. The match is a standard but entertaining 6-man tag team match with barely any crowd reception due to the lack of, fans in attendance. The guys are given plenty of time to work. Gulak and Gallagher work pretty well as a comedy duo. Kalisto gets the win for his team with the Salado Soul on TJP. It's lengthy, but it's a decent tag team match. After the match, Charlotte comes out to the broadcast panel, and it's basically a copy-paste of Bliss's interview with some changes. She actually said she wanted Nikki Bella to win because she wanted to beat I think it's one of the former Divas champions.
Yep.
Which makes no sense. We've got our social media cringe segment, which is Renee talking to both Sammy and Kevin, and this is fantastic. Owens has an Edge t-shirt. Obviously changed that between this and the match. They basically spend the entire segment taking the piss out of the WWE fans for misspelling the premise of the show, why they would give away a game plan, and just people asking ridiculous questions. Someone asked, do they have a straight lead tonight as opposed to strategy, which I just burst out laughing. And bear in mind, this was 5:30 in the fucking morning, and I've just thought, Jesus Christ, I could watch these two for so long. They're so good.
Well, they've been friends for years, right? They're very good.
I know. There's also the infamous bit where Owens tells Pete Rosenberg, I think his name is. I do this every show, and I don't remember the guy's name. He says that he actually...
One looks like Garfunkel.
No, that's the other one.
They're both useless. Let's just put it out there.
Don't be harsh. Garfunkel was fine. He says that Pete pays to be on pre-show, and apparently there's a rumor that he actually does do that.
Brilliant.
And he says that he needs to talk to Matt Hardy to delete him, which was quite cute. I thought it was a nice little nod. And they've revealed that the WWE Championship match is the curtain jerker. So we literally are in the 2001 period of brand splits where, the second tier belt is now opening the show.
Yes.
Segment ends with Owens speaking French. It's a truly wonderful moment and a reason to watch the pre-show. I highly recommend, if you've not seen it, just watch this whole segment take place. Gallows and Anderson versus The Revival. This is a decent match, although much like Raw 25, it was with enough build, this could have been a really big deal, I think, between these two teams. but they're just relegated to this. A Revival win with a chop block to Anderson after working on the leg. It's a decent match, but nothing else really to say on it.
Yeah.
Alundra Blaze and JBL come to the booth. Blaze seems pissed or really excited. I couldn't tell.
Isn't there a thing where they say who's going to win the Rumble, and she basically struggles to think of a active women's wrestler?
Yes, exactly. I was like, I can't tell. Again, is she really excited, or did she like take a massive like fucking joint before the start of this? And I feel like JBL was fishing for a job because he literally takes over the entire role of being the interviewer as opposed to Renee, who's on there.
He works there, no?
He does, but I don't think he's on camera. Tell you what, anyone who wants to message, just bring in some sort of sponsor, because your pre-show main event will be sponsored by that, and that is between Bobby Roode on the Open Challenge, which was against Mojo Rawley.
Wonderful.
Roode is massively over. His opponent was unknown at the time, but there was a palpable disappointment that it turned out to be Mojo. The match is decent again, but it's nothing particularly special. Roode is victorious, and SmackDown's second-tier title becomes even more unimportant, I've put on here. Flair comes out to the booth for the final segment. He sounds like he's aged about 2 decades, but he does put over the Rumble and like the 1992 win, which in retrospect, his promo is probably one of the most important things. You know, where he says it's the most like important moment of my life, or
with a smile on my face.
And said before, Vince hated that promo.
Put that cigarette out.
Put that cigarette out. But
I love that promo.
JBL just sucks up to him so much, but you know, it is Flair, so fair fucks to him. He says a guy with experience is going to win, and he actually pushes Shelton to win it, which I thought was quite cute. And that was it. Then they just led on, and then we go to our main show.
Cool. So you don't remember who the pre-show... I'm assuming it was KFC, because didn't they do another bollocks KFC advert?
My gimmick is I do some stupid joke, but this was now at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I just didn't have time to write one down. Usually I go with like Pasta Mania or, you know, no, I won't. I was going to say I was going to go with Enzo Amore's law firm, but that might be a bit too dark.
Well, you've said it now, but
okay, well, fuck it.
Moving swiftly on.
Allegedly.
Okay. So, main card starts with the WWE Championship match, which was a handicap match. AJ Styles defending against a team of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. If Kevin Owens and Zayn win this match, they would become co-champions. But lucky for us, they didn't. And AJ Styles won with a bit of fuckery, but not on his... Well, he got the free count on an illegal man because there was no tag, but he wasn't to know that, and it was more a case of referee just making a mistake. And I suppose it just opens up for future bollocks booking on SmackDown between Bryan and Shane, which is the reason we've got a handicap match in the first place. But yeah, I thought this was a fairly decent match. I thought it was just another great example of AJ Styles being great. And obviously Owens and Zayn are quite entertaining themselves. It was decent. Some good spots, some really good spots actually. That was it, that monkey flip on
good.
Styles, which he then turned into a Hurricanrana on Zayn. Oh my god. The guy is just ridiculous. And Sami Zayn, his blue thunder bomb is an absolute delight, isn't it?
If the guy is light enough, he gets so much momentum on it. And the whiplash as well when he just crashes down. And you can tell, I love the little pin as well where he's just got one arm and they're going, yeah!
It just looks so funny. It just, like, the fluid motion of it just looks so good.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic finish. But again, it's limited to guys that are either around his weight class or a little bit less. But AJ's perfect for it, so it was good.
Yeah, this match was fine.
It was. It burnt the fuck out of the crowd, though. But that's to be expected. You've got 3 of the best workers in the WWE basically having one of the best handicap matches for quite a long time. I can't even recall. I mean, I was thinking Breakdown 1998, where something similar, which was a triple threat match technically between Undertaker, Kane, and Austin, which was basically a glorified handicap match, as JR used to call it.
Wasn't there once a quite entertaining... I wouldn't say it was a good match, but it was fairly entertaining. Wasn't there a Shane and Vince McMahon against Austin match?
Yes, that was the ladder match at King of the Ring.
The ladder match where it was never explained who pulled up the briefcase.
See, I'm going to ruin it for you now. They said not a member of the corporation could interfere with the match, and I think the week before they fired the big boss man from the corporation, and then obviously the briefcase gets lifted, and then the following night, they're all celebrating, and yeah, and then Bossman comes out to Hard Times, and then there's like, oh shit, he's actually going to batter Vince, and then they all shake hands. They never say it out loud, which is one of the weirdest things, but I think it's heavily implied it was Bossman. But
I
that's
don't think
very.
I don't think wrestling fans are smart enough to get that, nor do I think Vince is going to let a storyline element like that just be a subtle nod.
I wrote the storyline. I'm telling you,
fuck
it
that
was
up,
a swerve, bro.
Mm.
Listen to my podcast.
Bro.
Whoa.
Bro.
No one watches the WWE. I swear to God.
Not your best impression, to be perfectly honest.
Oh no. I'm the man. I'm the man of 1,000 voices, and they all sound the same.
This is true. Right, yeah. So that was the title match, which was okay. We then moved on to the SmackDown tag titles. The Usos, Jay and Jimmy Uso, defeated Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. This was the best 2 out of 3 falls match, and the Usos won 2-0, which is one of those weird, swervy things on these matches that I really hate. And I didn't particularly like this match. I didn't think it was terrible. I actually thought the build up to the first fall was really good because they kick out of a lot of they don't kick out of a lot of moves, but I mean there's a lot of moments where you kind of think, oh, that's definitely going to be the first fall, and someone kicks out. And I thought the second fall was kind of just a bit deflating.
I fully agree. Again, the build up to the first fall is fantastic, and then the second one is literally it lasts about 2 minutes. And I can't. The last time I can recall a 2 out of 3 falls match ending with a clean sweep was Cesaro and Sheamus in one of their many, many matches before they became a tag team. And I'm pretty sure that was because Cesaro pissed off. Yeah, and I think Cesaro pissed off management by saying, I don't think the fans are happy to see Cena in the main event all the time. And it's like, that's your push done, son. See you later.
Yeah, no, you're right. That was the last one.
But again, this match, Usos are good. Benjamin and Gable were pretty good.
Are Gable and Benjamin, are they like American Alpha 2.0 or something? Is that the gimmick? Or not gimmick?
That or World's Greatest Tag Team 2.0. Again, it keeps Gable busy and it keeps Benjamin busy, I suppose. They obviously don't see anything in Benjamin. I mean, despite the fact that everyone, rides on Benjamin's coattail saying he's a fantastic athlete, they obviously just don't see enough charisma behind him, so they like dump him in a tag team. And for whatever reason, they see the same in Gable as well.
It's been the case for a long time, hasn't it?
Yes, but Gable's a fantastic wrestler, and I think he's very funny. Bear in mind, it was in NXT. It was only when Gable teamed up with Jordan that they actually really got over, and it was Gable's, stupid, where he was like, "Come on, ready, willing, and Gable," and Jordan used to look at him as if like, "All right, mug," and then eventually they grew like some respect for each other. But again, it just feels like they're floundering. And the Usos, again, it's SmackDown's tag team division is actually quite decent, but they're obviously. I imagine they're holding off until Breezango at Mania, or probably Bludgeon Brothers.
I always assumed that it would be the Bludgeon Brothers that become the champions.
So I guess it keeps them busy. Although again, I don't understand why this match couldn't have been on the pre-show. It didn't do anything for crowd. They did some really good moves, and the crowd was just burnt out to fuck, and there was barely any heat whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree. Well then, we move on to the Royal Rumble match. Well, sorry, we now have to say the men's Royal Rumble match. 30 men enter.
You're not going to do rules, are you?
Last one in the ring is declared the winner, and they get a World Championship. Well, they get a title match at WrestleMania.
They push it as the main event of WrestleMania, despite the fact last year the winner of the Royal Rumble was nowhere near the fucking final match on the card at WrestleMania.
No, you're right.
And it has been historically when it's been two brands. Sorry, the Royal Rumble winner. It doesn't mean fucking anything. But We'll see. I think it's safe
Right.
to say that the
Yeah.
winner of this match is not going on to the main event of WrestleMania.
Unless the winner would go on to face Brock, but
Ooh.
we'll see in a minute that probably isn't the case.
Dumb
So, right.
question. I was gonna ask dumb question. The moment they announced it was the gents rumble, what did you think was happening in the women's? Because my
Ronda
first
Rousey.
note says, yeah, Ronda. Exactly that.
Yeah, there was a big rumor that was going to happen, and pretty much the second the rumor hit, everyone was like, "Well, Ronda's definitely there."
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. I think it was a prerequisite. Also, Lawler was on commentary. What did you think of him throughout the show?
I, 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 I think Jerry Lawler is someone who I don't have a lot of time for him.
I think his style has aged quite badly, and it's quite obvious still, despite the fact he's a special attraction for this match. He doesn't watch the fucking show, nor does he care enough. I don't mind
Uh,
his shtick of changing his pick every 10 seconds, but
yeah, that was fine. Yeah,
I think his time was the Attitude Era when he was allowed to just go off the fucking deep end and go mental. But you just can't do that anymore.
as a commentator, yeah, sure, but
Yeah.
yeah, not for me.
No, I don't think he. I think Corey tried his absolute best to keep him,
Yeah,
keep him online, but there's only so much he can do.
right. This match went an hour and 5 minutes, so you have got to try and do this in a reasonable time.
Okay, let's go for it. Okay. Entry number 1 is Rusev. Aiden English comes out for the mother of all Rusev Day chants. Hopefully
Hang
this
on.
means a lengthy run. Go on.
What day was Royal Rumble on?
Rusev Day.
Of course.
Also, the amount of fucking Bulgarian flags. And
Well, he's really over.
he is. Fuck, I would have said. I mean, if you listen to that reception and the fact that throughout the entire match, he's probably one of the most over guys in the match, you must be thinking, we've got something special here. He's
Strap a
obviously.
fucking rocket to him.
I know. He's so likable as well. It's fucking. Anyway, we'll get to it. Entry number 2 is Finn Balor, which is interesting, as I've put. And he's not the demon. So obviously this match wasn't important enough for Finn to, unleash his,
To try.
I was going to say Super Saiyan Blue, Super Saiyan thing, or whatever it was, but obviously not. To try works better. We kick off with a lock-up between the two. Finn escapes and we get a short match. Entrant number 3 is, of course, an ECW former guy, which is Rhino. So we get EC Dub chance. It's a potato factory between the big lads, and he manages to get suplexes on both guys. Entrant number 4, your pick, Baron Corbin.
Oh, yeah.
I've put early as fuck, don't know if that's good or bad. So
Bad.
I'll just, I'll put down what I wrote. Corbin takes out everyone until Rhino suplexes him and attempts a gore, but gets deep sixed and then eliminated. So Rhino's our first guy gone. But then Finn eliminates Corbin. Lol. Corbin kills everyone outside without eliminating anyone. Entrant number 5, Heath Slater. Corbin takes him out as he exits with agents, and there's not a fucking soul in the ring. Heath gets a "he's got kids" chant, which makes me laugh. Entrant number 6 is Elias.
I quite like Elias.
He's who was it? Alvarez, who said he's great, and then the wrestling starts, which I thought was fucking brutal.
I thought it's harsh, and I think he's talking bollocks, to be perfectly honest with you.
I think that's incredibly harsh. I don't think he's had a chance to really showcase Elias, but we get a gig, which the crowd really likes.
Very much enjoyed the walking to the. I think his entrance now needs to be him walking to the ring playing guitar. I think that'd be really
exactly.
good.
It'd be awesome.
I got a little factoid here.
Go.
So Elias was in the match for 26 minutes, and he eliminated 0 people.
Well, I don't think he was anyone's actual pick to win the whole fucking thing.
No.
He plays a gig until the next person comes out, which is Andrade Cien Almas. As a recurring pattern, he, along with Elias, batters Heath on the way in. Almas does his rope stop spot and a double knee. Hammerlock is blocked, and a quick exchange sees Almas get clothesline before entrant number 8 comes out, which is Bray Wyatt. And I've put, is Heath Slater supposed to get battered until the final 4? Where he,
that
again,
would have been funny, yeah.
I would have liked that. Bray plants Elias and gets a taunt, but Finn returns and still gets battered, so we get the little exchange between the two. Entrant number 9 is Big E, who gets to speak his entrance from the New Day. He helps Heath with some pancakes because, of course, he fucking does.
Of course he does.
There's still loads of Rusev Day chants at this point. Entrant number 10 is, well, it was going to be Ty Dillinger. Corey screams again, which is exactly what I said. We go backstage and end up seeing Dillinger getting battered by Zayn and Owens. And then Zayn elects to go to the Rumble, despite the fact Owens saying, I got this. And he's like, no, I got this. So I think they're
That's probably because Owens is still a little bit injured, I'd imagine.
that, and they're probably, for storyline perspective, they're probably teasing the inevitable breakup between them.
Mm-hmm.
So Zayn is entrant number 10. He still finds time to batter Heath Slater. Entrant number 11 is Sheamus, who has a match later, so I've immediately put, surely he won't be in there for long. Sheamus puts Heath in the ring and then gets eliminated by him immediately, and then Bray gets rid of Heath, and everyone gets a boo.
Sheamus has just come back from a pretty bad injury, right? So when I saw him, I was like, oh, he's not going to be in it for long.
How old is Sheamus, do you reckon?
30s? Mid to late 30s?
He was 40 on the Rumble.
Christ.
I know, fuck. But bear in mind, he's been in the WWE for nearly 10 years.
Yeah.
So, fair fucks, again. Favourite phrase. Entrant 12 is Xavier Woods, where the New Day now teams up against Zayn and Elias. I was thinking to myself, again, just if we were going to do the Alvarez thing and say what a shoot would be, surely the New Day would just team up all three, eliminate everybody, and then say, when we get to Final Three, then we'll just have a match. Like, why does no tag team in history ever do this?
Yeah. Well, the Wyatts did it, right? And got rid of Brock that way a few years ago, which was interesting, but...
That's true. Yeah. Entrant 13 is Apollo Crews. The ring is fucking swamped at this point.
Yeah.
Entrant 14 is Shinsuke Nakamura, and I've put my pick is in the top half. Fuck's sake.
He is your pick, yes.
Regardless, Nakamura batters Crews and Elias with knees, and the crowd is firmly behind him. Zayn gets eliminated by Shinsuke from the corner, which was a pretty good spot in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Entrant 15, one of my other favourites, Cesaro, whose theme music was just ambulance sirens.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I know. He actually has a theme. It's not great, but it's, at least he has it.
Do 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 do. It's that one, right?
Yeah. It's like, should we have some melody? Fuck that.
You never seen? Oh yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
that's why they have Sheamus's.
So that's the midway point of the Rumble then, Cesaro.
Yes, I've got Cesaro tries to get Finn out, but Almas saves him by accident, and we still get more Rusev Day chants. So still going strong, 15 people win. Entrant 16 is Kofi Kingston. All three members of New Day are in the ring. How can this end? Crews gorilla presses Cesaro but can't chuck him out. The pair have an exchange on the apron, which Cesaro gets the better of and eliminates Crews. Entrant 17, Jinder Mahal.
Lovely.
Yeah, Jinder sends Xavier flying out, followed by E. Holy fuck, I've put on here. Entrant 18 is Seth Rollins. Massive springboard clothesline to Bray, then sling blades to Elias and Finn. Cesaro tries to eliminate him, but gets eliminated himself. Jinder sends Kofi outside, but only one foot lands on the floor and the other lands on wood. And then the other foot on a plate of pancakes supplied by E, and then he gets vaulted into the ring and eliminates Mahal. And then Kofi gets eliminated by Almas, because of fucking course he does.
Of course.
This is going to be his Hall of Fame fucking highlight reel, isn't it, Kofi Kingston?
Don't know. Didn't he win several IC titles and US titles?
Yeah, but it's more funny when you say, oh, do you remember the time that he got, vaulted out of the ring at the Rumble and he hopped on a chair? Or that other time he got vaulted out the ring and he landed on Adam Rose's people, Rosebuds?
Isn't he a record holder for tag titles as well in terms of days held?
He's also very well liked. He's apparently a very nice guy as well. Entrant 19 is Woken Matt Hardy.
Lovely.
Bray and Matt team up and eliminate Rusev. Fuck. And then they both start fighting each other and then they eliminate each other. So this feud is still ongoing, I imagine.
You'd hope so.
Well, with that, yeah.
I'd hate it if they just started jobbing out Woken Matt Hardy already. He hasn't won a match since he woke up.
Well, part of me thinks that, they hear the stories that Vince loves him and gives him creative control to do, the backstage shit. And the other half of me thinks non-Vince creation probably despises it, job him out to my creations.
Yes.
Entrant 20 is John Cena. who enters the Lion's Den and gets fucked by everyone.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was just the fact that he walks in the ring and everyone's like, "Oh right, Cena, rabble, 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 rabble." Elias tries to eliminate him, but gets eliminated himself. Entrant 21, first surprise is the Hurricane.
The
What did you think?
Hurricane. Oh, it was fun. I popped.
He was in there for about 20 seconds. Attempts a choke slam. Cena realises that who's this midget and then gets tossed out. Entrant 22 is Aiden English. I've put on here, do it, Aiden. Do it for Rusev Day. I've noticed Shinsuke is resting in the corner. Just stay there, Shinsuke. Entrant 23 is Adam Cole, who is bandaged to fuck. I was going to thank you for completing that. I was like, come on, man, give me a baby. Bandaged to fuck, and in the chaos of all this, Finn eliminates Aiden, so didn't do very well, Aiden. Entrant 24 is Randy Orton. The best thing I can only describe from this is that Andrade tries a splash from, I think, 3/4 across the ring, and he gets fucking RKO'd in like picture perfect timing.
Yep.
What a fucking good spot. And then eliminates him. Was it, again, going back to our friends at Wrestling Observer Radio, who were, I think, quite upset that Orton eliminated Almas?
I don't know. Well, you know, if you're Almas and Vince or whoever says, right, the spot where you go out is one of the most decorated world champions in the last 15 years of WWE history is going to eliminate you, you probably go, oh, that's not so bad. Or you'd think, oh, the guy who won it last year and then won the title at Mania is going to eliminate me. Not fucking. I just don't understand the logic behind thinking that was a bad spot.
No, I don't either. I thought it was. It elevates Almas to say that a former, 2-digit world champion, he's going to eliminate you, and you can only think of what a jobber. I'm like, fucking hell, it's taken a former world champion to get him out. Not only that, but it's basically he's had to kill him. He's had to kill himself first to get eliminated.
Yeah, it's just another example. I really like Brian Alvarez. I do. I honestly do.
No, you fucking don't.
But he just talks so much garbage sometimes. It's just so annoying. I'm so glad I don't fucking pay to listen to him.
What we got? Entrant 25, which is Titus O'Neil. Crowd goes mild. O'Neil nearly eliminates Cole and then goes for Shinsuke, and I've just put fuck off, fuck off, fuck off. Entrant 26 is The Miz. Miz kills Seth, Finn, and Cena, and then gets some ick kicks on both Cena and Rollins, although he misses the final one and ends up getting kicked by Seth. Entrant 27, fucking hell, it's only Rey Mysterio.
Rey fucking Mysterio.
Booyaka, booyaka.
On the gas, baby.
He's in a phenomenal shape. Even Corey's basically my he's my spirit animal. He's basically Rex, like, I've never seen him in such shape. He's so different. I'm like, fucking hell's bells.
Yeah, I saw Rey Mysterio last summer at Rev Pro show against Skull, and he was great there as well, to be fair.
He fucking moved 100 miles a minute. He was great.
He's got his knees in a good way again, isn't he? That's why.
Probably not having to do that WWE schedule, which is the whole point of contention about him either coming back or not coming back.
Well, apparently they want him back, and he said, I'll come back. I just want to work a lighter schedule, and they're saying no, so we'll see.
I can't believe you want to look after your body. No. Entrant 28, you can hear the boos from fucking space. It's Roman Reigns.
I was happy to see him. Guy with the biggest pecs. He's fucking 28? I mean,
he had a lot to do after this match when we got to Final Four.
I know, don't get me wrong, the Final Four was excellent, but he's still winning at 28. He was in at 30 last year. I mean, fuck me.
All right, next year we'll book him as number 2, just to get out your system. And then he'll go... Actually, he did. No, the year before. He was number 1.
He was number 1, but that doesn't mean you then get 30. That's not a given.
No, I mean, he just went missing for 45 minutes of the match. Look, anyway, I was happy to see him. Reigns kills pretty much everyone in the fucking ring. He then squares off with the Miz, and then Miz gets murdered. Titus gets in the way and gets eliminated for his trouble. Miz Entourage? Is it Miz Entourage or Miz Entourage, Reese?
Ms. Entourage. No, Ms. Taraj.
Mr. Raj. That's all right. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure. They prevent the Miz from getting eliminated, and Seth curb stomps him. I don't think they're calling it curb stomp anymore. What are they calling it?
It's called the Blackout. Or is
Blackout.
it Blackout? I think it's Blackout, yeah.
It's not as good as curb stomp.
Well, yeah, but Curb Stomp does have odd connotations.
I do have flashbacks of American History X.
Those are the exact connotations I'm talking about, yeah.
Good movie. The pair double team and double power bomb Miz out of the match. And then Roman eliminates Seth, and we get our little moment where Seth's like, you got me. And Roman's like, yeah, I got you. And he's like, oh, you
Another
fucker.
another bullshit fucking Brian Alvarez blowing
I
this
thought
out
you
of
liked him,
proportions as
Reece.
well.
I
Well,
thought you
I
liked
do
him.
like him, but he's talking bollocks again. Because I'm not being funny. If you're Roman Reigns and you want to win the Royal Rumble, you're going to have to throw Seth Rollins out eventually. So you might as well just do it when you've actually got a perfect opportunity. And let's not be funny, right? They do a little laugh at each other and they kind of understand it. Okay, fair enough, you got me, right? I mean, fucking Seth Rollins once broke up the Shield by smashing them both with chairs. I think, they've had some contentious things. If it would have just been all right, you got me, that's fine. Fine. Don't fucking make it anything bigger than what it is.
No,
Chill
exactly.
out.
Chillax. Entrant 29 is Goldust, who nearly eliminates Orton. And then Goldust and Cena have an odd exchange, which I thought was nice of Cena, I suppose.
I guess so, yeah.
Our final entrant, and every single fucking person looks towards the ramp in case it's a big surprise. And what we get is record scratch, and I'm here to show the world. Ziggler's back, baby.
Oh, fucking, this is so bad.
You could hear the crowd just deflate. And I like Zigglypuff. I still like Zigglypuff. But the crowd just went...
The fuck is wrong with the creative of this? It's like, he wins the US title, vacate, I'm off, see you later. And then
3
he
weeks
comes
later.
back 3 weeks later. He comes back at the 30th Rumble. I mean, he hasn't earned that in any way. I don't know how he's got that.
I thought
He was supposedly going to be the one who answered the call for Rude.
That's what I heard. And then Cole, apparently, at some point, which would have been devastating, I think, if he lost twice on the dot. And then they finally had Mojo.
Yeah, they swapped him around. Yeah, this was a dreadful number 30 spot in probably quite possibly the lowest point of the Rumble, and this was a good Rumble.
Yes, it was. Again, the crowd was waiting for that big surprise, and this was not the surprise they wanted. So let's go through the notes. Ziggler goes for Cena. He lasts a moment, blocks an AA, and then fights off Cena and Orton. Ziggler kicks Goldust out. Ziggler goes for Shinsuke, but ends up on the apron, and then Finn eliminates Ziggler. There's a square off between the Ruthless Aggression era and the current gen. And of course, the Ruthless Aggression era stands tall until Reigns eliminates Orton. Double 619 on both Reigns and Cena by Ray.
Yeah,
and then
I
Finn
enjoyed
eliminates
that. Yeah.
Ray. That was good. I thought that was a nice little nod, at least of respect for them to do that. So our final four is Finn Balor, Shinsuke Nakamura, Roman Reigns, and Cena.
Mm-hmm.
And what we get is a double team between Team WWE and Team We Used to Be in New Japan. And of course, who wins this fucking match?
Well, obviously.
Goddamn pal, I can't have New Japan winning. Cena gets distracted by fan chants, although I think it's quite obvious now in retrospect when you rewatch it, he's basically screaming for both Finn and Shinsuke to get up and do moves.
There's a bit. Is it that you both? Are they you both suck? You both suck.
Yeah.
Chants to him and Roman.
Yeah.
And I thought he was like saying "shut up, shut up."
Yes, that's what I thought.
But it didn't. Shinsuke! Now! It's so obvious.
Fucking hell. It's like in The Simpsons where Bart lines up all the fucking microphones.
Yeah.
And destroys Springfield.
Yeah.
Cena's louder than that.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Commentators mention at this point Finn has been wrestling for 55 minutes. Fucking hell.
There's a lot of
Yeah,
rest
good,
spots. I mean, not being funny, with the whole Corbin thing earlier on, he had like a 15-minute laydown.
It's still a fucking long time to be in that ring where you're constantly having to, things don't go according to plan sometimes. All it takes is some poor bastard slipping on the apron. You're like, shit, I'm going to have to wrestle against this guy now. Cena and Reigns come back and they start wrestling after, I think, Finn and Shinsuke have a little exchange. Finn then breaks up that exchange and goes back to Shinsuke. An attempted Kinshasa gets stomped. That was brilliant. Where he lands on him and, where he goes for the Kinshasa and then Finn just jumps up and fucking stomps
Oh
him
yeah,
straight to the ground.
God, that was great.
Fucking timing on that. I'm going about Orton catching him for the RKO earlier, but Jesus.
Yeah, no, actually, just to say, you're right about the fact he's been in there for 55, 56 minutes, and then he's still got enough, wherewithal and the timing to pull off like a nice little spot like that. It's very impressive.
Exactly. And for his trouble, he gets fucking eliminated by Cena. And I've put, for fuck's sake.
Hmm.
The crowd isn't happy at this point. You can never guess who the favourite is with the crowd as well.
Well, Nakamura.
Of course. Reigns and Cena decide to go for Nakamura because fuck you, Philly. Then Reigns and Cena, yeah. Sorry. Then Reigns and Cena go again. 5-knuckle shuffle. Attempted AA gets blocked and a Superman punch. Reigns loads up a spear. Cena catches him in an AA. Shinsuke tries an exploder. And then the action goes to the apron and Cena is kicked out. And I've put in it in bold caps, Shinsuke Sensei, take it home. Crowd is fucking terrified at this point. Because they can see you've got both obvious WrestleMania main events in the ring. What do we go with? Do we go with the heartwarming story that Shinsuke Nakamura wins the match, or do we go with fuck it, Reigns versus Brock, cement it?
Yeah.
Obviously, I knew at this point it must be Shinsuke because they've got Elimination Chamber next month. The pay-per-view schedule means it must be that. What did you think at this point?
I thought Nakamura was going to win.
Right. We've raised this point several times with the Royal Rumble or wrestling in general. If it's predictable, that doesn't necessarily be a bad thing because it means the story goes to its natural conclusion.
Yeah.
So what have we got? Reigns nails a Superman punch. He chucks Nakamura. Shinsuke hangs on and kicks for his life and does a triangle. He hasn't re-entered the ring and I'm fucking panicking at this point. But then Reigns brings him back in with a powerbomb. Reigns loads up another spear. Shinsuke kicks him, does a middle rope Kinshasa, and then gets fucking speared, which looked painful. Another attempted spear. Shinsuke moves and nails a Kinshasa, and he's fucking gone out the ring. Shinsuke wins, and I've thought, I did it, I'm fucking psychic.
Yeah, this was a pretty good Rumble, I thought.
It was fucking fantastic. Considering the string of Rumbles that the WWE has had for the past... Last year was Autumn, which was... I think it was because anyone but Roman, everyone was like, yeah, it's great. And then retrospectively, it was pants. Year before was Triple H, which was pants. Year before was Roman, which was pants.
Yeah.
And year before was Batista, which was pants.
Yes.
Notice they're all pants.
Very pants.
I can't picture the last good Rumble. Or can't remember a one that made me as happy as this one.
No, you're right. It was good.
I really can't remember. I would dare say 2007 when Taker won.
Quite possibly, actually, yeah.
But
that was good.
That was good. Our aftermatch, Renee comes out and asks if Shinsuke knows who will face, and I'm thinking it'd be so funny if he said Brock, because obviously him and Brock had a match in New Japan when Shinsuke was just young, where Brock kicked 7 shades of absolute shit out of him.
Mm-hmm.
But of course it's AJ Styles and the crowd just pops really big and you just got to think to yourself, holy fuck, this is actually happening at WrestleMania.
Well, if it's half as good as their Wrestle Kingdom match, then it's going to be great. So that's the dream.
Yeah. Give the two gents 30 minutes and just tell them to just go fucking mental.
Won't happen.
No, of course it won't.
They'll get 17 and a half minutes and it'll still be
15 minutes, pal. Kid Rock's got 3 songs.
Oh, God.
He's going in the Hall of Fame this year.
Who?
Rock.
Fucking hell.
I know. Is there any justice in the world, Reese?
No, there isn't.
We get a backstage promo with the GMs, which I thought was quite funny.
Yeah, although, do you not just think Daniel Bryan makes it incredibly clear that he doesn't really want to be there?
Yes, it's the most obvious thing in the fucking world. And if the WWE is smart, they'll...
Just on another thought, actually, about Daniel Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
He's growing his hair out. Do you not think he might be trying to get his image back to a point, where he can be big
where he
beard
can
and rough hair again.
take a punch and flick his hair back to show that he's actually been punched and whisper
Mm,
spots. Don't do
yeah.
this. Don't play with my emotions, Reese.
Just saying. So I'm just saying.
It's probably just trolling us.
Quite
Um,
possibly, yeah.
there's a second Royal Rumble, which is the KFC Rumble.
Oh God, they've ruined
Um,
Flair now.
I just thought Flair looked fucking amazing. He
He did
looks like
look great, but
he's
it's fucking Rick.
definitely the he's definitely the best Colonel Sanders they've booked.
I don't know. Dolph Ziggler did look quite good as the Colonel. I will say that. I thought.
That's true, but Flair actually does look like he looks like what Colonel Sanders looks like on the picture.
Mm,
Long live the Confederacy and fried chicken. Woo!
yeah.
Anyway,
Uh,
um, did you want to call this match?
what
This
the
next one?
KFC Rumble?
No, fuck the
Oh,
hell,
thank
Reese.
God for
No,
that. No.
no.
Right, yeah. So Raw Tag Team titles were next. The crowd were absolutely fucking dead, and this match was pretty dog shit because of that, and also because of obvious injuries that have occurred, and it had to be booked in a certain way, and it was. But it went 12 minutes. It went nearly 13 minutes, which I think is like 7 or 8 minutes too long.
Maybe they felt sorry for the crowd and thought they've sat there probably on the edge of their seats. They need at least 15 minutes to all get to the toilet and fucking get back and get a drink.
Mm.
We can
Well,
sell
yeah.
Jason Jordan for 15 minutes. It's all right.
Yeah. So Cesaro and Sheamus, they got their titles back from Rollins and Jason Jordan, which I suppose was always probably going to happen, considering Ambrose is gone for a bit. Well, was it 9 months, 8 months he's out? So yeah,
Is this Shield
Jason.
reunion the most fucking cursed thing in the world?
Well, yeah, clearly it's fucked.
It's
It
been
never really
fucked.
happened, did it?
No, it really
Mm.
hasn't. I think they should just scrap it and just fucking say, screw it. Everyone goes back to their previous characters.
Well, have you not noticed that Seth is pretty much he's not wearing he's not wearing
I
any
wore
combat fatigues or anything anymore.
No, but then again, this isn't the Shield. It's him and Jason Jordan.
I know, but the whole thing was that Jason Jordan was replacing Ambrose in the tag team, and technically they haven't said that. Oh, the Shield is no more again. So
No, but well,
Well, anyway, this went 13 minutes. It was rubbish. Jason Jordan is clearly injured, which is a horrible thing to see. Actually, I don't know. I think they're trying to make it look like it's a concussion thing, going by the booking, because he had that weird look on his face. The kind of look when trying to
lights
show a
are on,
dog.
no one's home.
Yeah, trying to show a dog a card trick kind of look on his face.
That's a really good one, actually.
But yeah,
Still
it was odd. I'll be honest with you. This is like 4 a.m. and I've gone for a 10-minute piss when this match
Holy
came on.
shit!
So.
You stayed up to watch this?
Yeah, I
Oh,
watched the whole.
fuck.
I watched the first hour or two. I watched the first hour and a half of NXT before I fell asleep on the sofa, and then I stayed up. I stayed up all night watching the Rumble.
Oh my god! Fucking hell! I suppose you don't have jet lag.
No, I had Monday off work, so I just slept all day.
Fair enough. I might do that for Mania. Take Monday off.
That's
In
what
fact,
I
I might take
usually
the way there's some of these meshes are getting put together. I might have to take the fucking week off.
do.
I have literally put Christ. This match just keeps going. Corey and Booker are arguing with one another, and Corey's running fucking laps around him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, match was okay, but an obvious piss break for a massively burnt out crowd.
Yeah.
Again, this is one of the issues with this show where you book 2 1-hour matches.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there has been wrestling shows where, New Japan have proven that people were prepared to have match after match after match. But I thought the Gents Rumble was the main event, really. As much as they're going to push that the Women's Rumble is the draw of the show.
I guess so. I mean, I'll be honest. We'll get to it, but I did enjoy watching the Women's Royal Rumble. I thought it was actually quite fun. But yeah, this was the reason I stayed. Well, this is the reason I stayed up until 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. whatever it is.
I think
to
the
watch
tag team match was the reason.
No, fuck off. To what is to Women's Royal Rumble? But yeah, this match was bollocks. And then we moved on to the Universal title match, which was probably bollocks as well, to be honest.
Well, I think I mentioned. Oh no, I've put it on in my notes. The storyline really never got me. It seemed like something a 5-year-old would make up with his toys, but maybe that's because I'm jaded as fuck.
Well, they couldn't do Lesnar Strowman again for some reason, so they added
They
Kane
can't have
in there.
Strowman lose.
They
They can't
can't,
have
yeah,
him
but
lose.
they put Kane in there to eat the pin.
Yep.
It went 10 minutes 55 seconds, which I think we both said. I think I said over under 10 minutes, and I think 10 to 11 minutes was probably the max it was always ever going to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, I think this match was massively, massively forgettable. Minus Braun and Brock stiffing each other.
Yep. It was funny. It's so funny
Yeah.
when the WWE gets a little legitimate moment and they're like, "Huh, most of wrestling's fake, but look at these two deck each other. Wow!" And I'm like,
Well, isn't it kind of like a well-known thing? Like, I mean, not well-known, but I just mean if you want to get something out of Brock, you're best shooting on him in a bit because it fires him up. Like Reigns has done it to him. A couple of other people have done it to him. He likes adding that shoot element to it. It just riles him up. And
I
I
think he
wouldn't be
likes to
surprised
prepare
if
for it first. I think that's what
yeah,
he likes.
and I wouldn't be surprised if someone like Heyman is the person who goes, "Oh look, just lay in an elbow or lay in a knee on him, and then it'll fire him up." Um, but I think Strowman did it to him when he wasn't prepared, and you can see from his face that he wasn't prepared for it.
No,
And also, Brock then used the opportunity to pay him back to also tell him to slow the fuck down. I believe is what he told him.
you got Ben Ward on the network.
Slow the fuck down.
Yeah, slow the
Whack.
fuck down. Whack. It's
Yeah.
just a jab, though. I mean,
People,
don't get me wrong. I'd rather
yeah.
not get jabbed from Lesnar, but fuck.
Jesus. People were talking about it like it's fucking like he Ortoned him. He did not fucking Randy Orton him.
No, he did not. He gave him a jab. And don't get me wrong, a
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar jab's probably one of the worst fucking things to have in wrestling. But if he wanted to, he could have just smashed it. He could have hooked him around the fucking cheek and knocked him clear out.
Well, he could have. Yeah, exactly.
Or choked him out and said, slow the fuck down. That would have been more
Yeah.
scarier.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. So Lesnar got the win, as was probably the most telegraphed result on the whole card.
Jesus. It was
Um,
the most predictable triple threat match in history.
he F5'd Kane, got the free, left the ring, and then Braun started yelling at him, "You didn't beat me, you didn't beat me." Even though Brock beat him a couple of months ago, clean as a fucking whistle, which I thought was odd. Um,
You're
yeah,
absolutely right.
this was largely not that interesting.
Yeah, I've put a largely heatless monster brawl, which is so fucking predictable you could set your watch to it.
Yeah,
It was they did weapon spots as shortcuts. To be perfectly honest, Braun and Brock had a okay match, if I remember, but it weren't nothing to blow minds.
too
Kane,
short. It was too short.
yeah, Kane again was just here to eat the pin. He didn't really add anything, and I think trying to redeem his character at this point is a massively lost cause.
Oh, just stop. He's ruining it every time he gets in the ring. It ruins it for me.
Yeah,
I remember being a huge Kane fan years ago.
yeah, same here. He scared the living shit out of me when I was a kid, and he's the reason I watched WrestleMania 14 because I was desperate to see The Undertaker make his massive comeback and beat him.
Yeah, that was great.
That was the reason I watched wrestling. But
Two
yeah,
tombstones on the chair, wasn't it, to beat him?
no, Taker did 3 tombstones, which at the time
Three
had never been done.
tombstones.
Yeah,
Mm. Yeah, that's right.
and then the third, I always remember the third. You know, he does his little crucifix pin, and the third
Yeah,
one he's like, "No, fuck this, I'm doing a deep pin," and then Kane still kicks out at just three and a quarter.
yeah, it was
I always
great. How
remember that.
strong was he booked? Fucking hell.
He was a fucking monster for a good year,
Mm.
and now look at him. Now he's
Hmm.
talking about Austrian economic systems and trying to become mayor of wherever.
Arkansas?
I'm not
Is
sure.
that
Glenn
where?
Jacobs is a very fascinating and very likable man. Kane
Yeah.
to Kane just needs to go. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I love you, big man, but it's time to go.
Mm. Right
Anyway,
then, our main event of the evening was the 30-woman Royal Rumble.
yeah,
And winner of this match gets to decide who they face at WrestleMania 34. Same shtick as the men's. This match went 59 minutes, which is a long time.
it is.
Yeah, apparently there were no women's matches on the house shows leading up to the Rumble, which Meltzer pretty much says means that they're all off somewhere practicing this match because, you know, this isn't a dig or anything, but I suppose all these firsts. I mean, the first Hell in a Cell match was quite good between Sasha and Charlotte, minus a few dangerous botches. All these firsts that we're getting with the women's, and bringing their matches up to a level, a more even kill with the men's, I suppose you could say. They have to. I mean, I suppose they have to be good. Otherwise, you know what wrestling fans are like. They'll just start shitting on it.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. I
and
mean,
I,
the whole
I
market
think, yeah,
podcast doing that.
yeah, and I think this match was pretty good.
I thought it was all right. I don't think it was as
Yeah,
good as the men's. Um,
yeah, no, I agree. I think the winner of this was probably a bit more obvious, though it depended on who came out at number 30.
I was going to be brutally honest. I was of the mindset that, as harsh as it is, I thought if Nakamura wins the gents, then there's no way they're going to have
There's no way
two
Vince McMahon is
Japanese
going to let
people.
two
No.
Japs go over. Yeah, I thought the
Yeah,
exact
I
same
know.
thing. Yeah,
I thought there's no fucking way on earth. This is the company that basically spent most of last year with their WWE champion as a fucking stereotype, and then
yeah, and
then took the piss out of the audience for saying you believe in stereotypes, and it's like fuck's sake.
yeah, you're talking about an organization whose biggest Japanese star of all time was a 600 pound Samoan called Rodney.
Yeah, he was a lovely lad, Rodney.
He was, yeah. But yeah, I was surprised. I think technically it all made sense, so I'm glad it happened. I'm glad that it obviously doesn't appear to be that's not the way Vince thinks.
I think that the WWE has no choice at this point because people are far more, you can say, politically correct, you can say sensitive, but they cannot push the women like they did just over 5 years ago. They
Mm,
can't be
yeah.
viewed as objects anymore. They have to be treated as equals, which is completely right in this day and age. But
Yes.
this match kind of showcased, as we'll go through the entrance, that the WWE's women's division has made such leaps and bounds, but they still don't have the depth. There were
True.
people missing from this as well. Obviously, Peyton Royce and Billy Kay were not in this match.
Paige, I
Nikki
suppose, obviously a
Page,
bit more high
well,
profile, yeah.
yeah, she's injured. Nikki Cross, no absence as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Alexa and Charlotte can't be in it, but I mean, they were involved. They were sitting out there because I suppose it's a big deal, so they got to they got to showcase the champions, even though they just sat there watching.
Yeah, that also brings me to the very first point I wanted to make, which was the crowd boos Maria I can't pronounce her surname.
Who the fuck is
Ramirez?
she?
She is a host on Access Hollywood, I think. She is a massive wrestling
Right.
fan.
Oh well, fair
I will
enough.
say that. She was in WrestleMania. She was at one of the WrestleManias years ago.
She's quite fit.
Oh, fair play. Steph comes out to booze, which makes sense, and I just put Steph is going to be fucking deaf, isn't she?
I didn't. I thought that would be the case. I'll be honest with you. Didn't hate her. Didn't think it
No,
was good, but I didn't hate her.
I thought it was like if my mum had a passing interest in wrestling, she would commentate like that, where everyone is like her favourites, and she doesn't want
Yeah,
anyone to get hurt. It's like, oh, that looks sore.
she
Wow, she's doing
basically,
really well.
yeah. So she had a sentence written down on a piece of paper as like a tag, like a just a like a little snippet to say when someone comes in. You know.
Yeah, exactly. It's the JR. I'm on New Japan.
Yeah.
I know two of them.
Quick note on Steph. How surprised were you that she mentioned and sort of put over China?
Um, it was like Bloody Mary. I was like expecting her to be behind her. Like if you say her name so many times, she'll fucking reappear. It was weird.
Well, someone was it Beth Phoenix came out, I think, and then she said, and then Corey said, Beth's also appeared in the men's Royal Rumble, and
Yeah.
then she said, "Yeah, but don't forget the first person to do that was the ninth wonder of the world, China." Which I know at the first I thought to myself, is that her being like the bigger woman? And then I thought to myself, hang on, it wasn't like a dig, was it? Because it's not going to mean
They can't
by,
ignore it. They
by
really
doing
can't.
well. They do though.
I know they do, but they can't. Not for this. They can't. It's too
Have
fucking
you
big.
have you ever heard of a gentleman called Chris Benoit? They love ignoring people that
I
like.
think you'll find that at WrestleMania 20, it was Stevie Richards who won the World Heavyweight Championship from Triple H.
Oh dear. Um, yeah, I was a bit surprised by that, but I'm curious. I did see some. I saw some wrestling journalists actually say that her doing that was irresponsible because what happens if young men or young girls then go on Google it and come across some unsavory things that young people shouldn't watch? But I don't know.
Have they seen what her husband did in 1998? Going to invade WCW in the cockpit.
Yeah, but they didn't. Yeah, but Triple H then didn't do a porno film where he got gangbanged by someone who looks an awful lot like Vince McMahon.
Fucking don't, don't.
Yeah,
Fucking hell.
that's what I'm saying.
I know that. Just fucking hell. We've derailed the women's rumble immediately. We haven't even started the match. And we've gone immediately into porn.
Yeah, but it's topical, isn't it? So yeah.
We are Vince Russo. We have literally descended to Vince Russo. The one other point I wanted to make just before fucking we get to the actual match was Cole, fuck off. Steph won't tell you she's integral to the women's evolution, revolution, whatever the fuck we're calling it. What a crock of shit.
Mm.
It's they have basically. I don't know if Triple H lost the bet. I don't know if how the women actually feel about it, but I don't think she had nowhere near it as much to do with the beginning of this as probably he did on NXT.
Yeah.
And those women there doing their work.
My guess is that she had fuck all to do with any of it.
No, until they were told, hey, women are people too. Hey, these women can actually wrestle. You know, we can market them as wrestlers.
It's just a way to get over, right?
Exactly. Right, let's run through the match, Reese. Entrant number 1 is Sasha Banks, who's dressed up as Wonder Woman from the Silver Age. Entrant number 2 is Becky Lynch, both have a little quick match. Entrant 3 is Sarah Logan, who gets fuck all reception, and Cole gives a description of what would make Wikipedia blush, and Steph doesn't respond to it.
Yeah.
Entrant number 4 is Mandy Rose, who comes out to Paige's theme, which confuses the absolute shit out of the crowd.
Yeah, she's quite fit, isn't she?
Yeah, I literally can't remember. I couldn't remember who the fuck she was.
Yeah, and when I heard Paige's theme, the first thing I thought was shit, Paige. Oh no, it's not her.
So did I. Ears plucked up, and I was like, "Fuck, is she actually there?"
Mm.
Entrant number 5 is Lita, who has a times up thing on her gear and Luna and May written on her arm. Apparently, she did not show the times up gear backstage, and it didn't go down very well afterwards.
Yeah, apparently the reason. Apparently she didn't have clearance or the rights to actually wear it. So yeah.
At this point, Lita fights off a double team by Sasha and Becky before Mandy goes after her. This is where Steph mentions China, which I've put here is fucking weird.
Mm-hmm.
Mandy is our first elimination, I believe, as she's eliminated by Lita. Entrant number 6 is Kairi Sane. I thought, hello, Kairi-chan. She kills Sarah, Becky, and Sasha. She then proceeds to walk the plank on Lita, who nails a forearm to Sarah. And I thought, fucking hell, somebody stop her. And then she does an elbow to... Sorry, go on, mate.
I was going to say, did you notice that she's not a pirate? She's actually just a yacht enthusiast.
What the fuck was that about?
I love her pirate shtick. I think it's really quite fun and cute.
I thought it was fucking awesome. Once again, they've ruined it. She nails a really good elbow on Sasha as well.
What her diving elbow from the top?
Yeah,
it's the best. It's the best elbow in wrestling.
Yes, easily. Entrant number 7 is Tamina in all white. I'm sure this was a tribute to someone, which I just didn't get. I'm sorry to say.
Mm-hmm.
Tamina super kicks everyone. Lita nails a twist of fate to Tamina. Sasha and Becky take it. She's going soon. And then Lita goes up tall. Lita salt to Sasha and Becky.
Tamina runs herself.
She does, as she does with all Lita salts. Tamina runs towards her and gets eliminated. Then Becky takes out Lita. Yes. Entrant number 8 is Dana Brooke, who knocks out Kairi, which is a boo.
That is one. I mean, of all the things like saying earlier about Alvarez having moans about the men's one, which I thought were bollocks, but Dana getting rid of Kairi Sane is a stupid booking decision.
I don't know. I would disagree because Dana is technically more established and it gives her a bit of a rub.
Maybe, but
That would
Dana
be my
Brooke's
argument.
rubbish and doesn't need a rub.
No, I think she's much better than you give her credit for. She had that really good match with Asuka at NXT.
Maybe.
Entrant number 9 is Tori Wilson, who looks fucking
Yeehaw!
fucking hell.
Christ alive, she's just she's probably one of my she probably is my all-time favorite, to be fair.
And again, one of the nicest people in wrestling, apparently.
Apparently, yeah. Follow her on Instagram. It's a treat.
I don't have Instagram.
Get Instagram and follow Tori Wilson.
Do it. She nails a really good facebuster on Dana with a fucking smile on her face. I thought that was brilliant, to be honest. And then Sarah kills Tori with a drop kick. Tori gets a chant. Corey asks what I ask. Why does Sasha keep saving people in this match?
Oh, why? Why did she do that? It really winds
I
me
don't
up.
know. I really don't know. I think even he was confused and no one could give an answer. It's here that Tori eliminates Dana. Entrant number 10 is Sonya Deville.
MMA.
Yep, another one. I'm sure they could have a trifecta, couldn't they? If Ronda Rousey appears on, because she's full time, she'll be on Raw and stuff. Spoilers. Sonya goes after Sasha with strikes, nearly eliminates Becky, who hangs on for dear life. She's striking the shit out of anything that moves. A kick by her eliminates Tori. I'm sure you were heartbroken. Entrant 11 is Liv Morgan. And then entrant 12... Sorry, what, mate?
Well, I was just say Liv Morgan came in soon after, so I wasn't heartbroken for long.
But she's with Tyler.
Well, I don't know if that's true.
Even that they're trolling the absolute shit out of us.
It's pathetic. Well, she's definitely not with Enzo anymore. Let's just say that.
Anyway, entrant 12 is Molly Holly.
She's such a mum now.
Well, what do you expect, man?
She looked like a mum.
Oh, there's a few mums in this.
I thought she was great. It was quite fun seeing her. She's like, of all the wrestlers like over the years, she's like incredibly well trained. She was a very well trained wrestler.
She was unfortunately around in the Ron era.
Of course.
She manages to eliminate Sarah Logan. She does a Molly go around on Sasha, and then Sonya knocks her out. And then Becky and Sonya start to fight again. Entrant 13 is Lana, so it's Rusev Day again.
It is Rusev Day again, yeah.
I thought, or not. Liv and Sonya kill her on entry. Lana slaps Sonya and then goes for Liv Morgan. Entrant 14 gets Undertaker chance because it's Michelle McCool.
Who could still bloody go, can't she? I mean, she was probably one of the best people in this whole Rumble.
I've put in bold, because to notify eliminations, McCool eliminates both Sonya, then Liv, then Molly, fucking hell, then Lana. And I've put, so the current women's revolution is being led by Taker's ball and chain.
She had the most eliminations in the whole match, I think.
Jesus. She was good, though.
Yeah, she was.
I was half expecting her they'd probably offer her something, but then she's a mum as well, isn't she? So
she is, yes.
Entrant 15 is Ruby Riott, who survives an initial attack by McCall, and then all four go to separate corners. Entrant 16, I've put, hell, thank you, Christ, it's Vicky Guerrero.
This was the worst part of the whole women's Rumble.
No, it weren't. I love this.
It fucking was. No,
I fucking love this.
No, she lost the match, which was that she had to leave WWE forever. So
but forever doesn't last forever in WWE.
No, I didn't enjoy this at all. She always really, really, she's just like sandpaper to me. She just really rubs me the wrong way.
I think she's a fantastic heel.
No.
Guerrero realises how bad of an idea it was to enter the Rumble. She attempts to escape and gets chucked out in probably the safest elimination anyone has ever had in a Royal Rumble match ever.
Yep.
Entrant 17 is Carmella, who comes out with her Money in the Bank briefcase. She shows off to Vicky, who proceeds to flatten her and still screams on her way to the exit. Entrant 18 is Natalia. Sorry, mate, you were going to say something.
No, I was just going to say that Carmella was... there was an interaction between Becky and Carmella where Becky was going to give her a Beck-sploder, and Carmella basically was going to have none of it, and it turned into the biggest botch of the match, and it was just really bad. And I think Carmella's getting a little bit of shit for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it wasn't. It's just a really horrible little spot that I think she was supposed to take a move. She didn't take the move, but I don't know. But yeah, it wasn't good.
Oh, that's a bit of just miscommunication.
Probably that, yeah.
Entrant 18, again, Natalia, who dumps her entrance gear on Carmella, who hits her back and finally gets in the ring and goes for Becky, which is probably where the exchange goes for. Natalia gets a tiny "she got cats" chant. Maybe
She
not.
does got cats, yes.
She's got cats. She's got cats. Entrant 19 is Kelly, who almost gets chucked out immediately by Natalia, but survives. She manages to perform a Hurricanrana and McCall, who gets chucked out by Natalia. Entrant 20 is Naomi, who I've put is your favourite champion of all time, Reese.
Oh, it's just really boring.
She hip attacks everyone, although Sasha stops her in her tracks and then gets kicked for a trouble. Becky nails a missile drop kick to stop her. There's more women stopping other women getting eliminated, which causes Corey's aneurysm to grow. He's right, though. He's fucking right.
Yeah, he is.
Becky is chucked out, but hangs on for dear life, but Riot is finally sent packing. Entrant 21 is Jacqueline, which was a nice surprise.
Yeah, I always like Jackie.
Yeah, she's nearly, I think she's 50-ish, I think, anyway.
Yeah, and she got her tits out in a England-only pay-per-view once.
Capital Carnage.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Like, proper got her tits out. Good old attitude era.
Yeah, it's censored on the network. For obvious
Is it really?
reasons. I think it is, yeah.
Well, it was all supposed to be... Oh, whatever, doesn't matter.
But the kids, Reese, the kids! We're PG now. Entrant 22 is Nia Jax, and I've literally put, if they mention how the women are going to throw out a giant, I will literally rip my fucking ears off. Nia eliminates Jackie immediately, then Kelly. Riot gets Gorilla pressed onto a fucking turnbuckle and sent outside, so that's 3 people in quick succession. Naomi tries her luck. Nia stops her Nia stops her Hurricanrana and gets thrown out, but the other girls outside catch her, and she lands on the barricade, which leads to an extended spot. Entrant 23 is Ember Moon, who sells yesterday like a proper trooper.
Yeah, she's got like a weird cast thing on, right? Which is odd.
Yeah, she was selling the arm injury from NXT.
Mm.
Naomi steals Kofi's gimmick and walks the barricade, takes Maria's chair, and then drags herself to the chair to the steps and gets back in the ring. And then she attempts a crossbody to Nia, but gets blocked and is eliminated afterwards anyway. Entrant 24 is Beth Phoenix, and I've put on here, will she get Edge chance? Which she does.
Mm-hmm.
Her and Natalia team up, and then she ends up being betrayed and sends Beth packing.
Yep.
Entrant 25 is Asuka. Obviously everyone's favourite to win this.
Mm-hmm.
There's a square off between her and Ember, who have a very small match. Ember manages to nail an eclipse, although Asuka really quickly recovers and sends her out anyway.
Yeah.
Didn't get that. Entrant 26 is Mickie James.
Good old Mickey.
Mickie, still there. Surprised they're not calling her fat or old again.
Weird.
I know. Entrant 27 is Nikki Bella, who gets a monster pop.
Is she going to come back full time?
I don't think so.
I
don't think so. She earns a John Cena sucks chant for all her trouble, despite the fact she kills everyone in the ring.
Yeah, then her sister follows her next.
Yeah, she does. I was going to say as well... Oh, that fucking song. I was going to quickly say as well, at some point, Carmella recovers from this little Nikki thing, I'll say. Taunts her with a "you can't see me" and nails a Bronco Buster, but quickly ends up in the electric chair and in the corner and then thrown over the top rope and eliminated. And then we get Brie Mode as number 28.
Yes.
Who nails the knees on a few ladies, and then her and Nikki knock down a recovering Nia Jax. Entrant 29 is Bayley, and I've put, can Bayley save her career, and is Ronda last or Trish?
Oh, I didn't even think of Trish, to be honest.
Didn't you? Oh, right.
No, but then when I saw her, I was like, oh, of course, Trish, of course.
Oh. Well, Bayley nails a few suplexes, although Asuka nearly chucks her out, and then entrant 30 is Trish Stratus, and I've put here, thank fuck. Little did I know that I was a bit too early with my call. Trish goes for everyone, and then the Bella Twins attempt to double team her. She hits all the old favourites, and fucking hell, Mickie and Trish square off. Can we get a Mania 21 repeat just to scare Vince?
What? Mickie James putting her hand...
God damn it!
God,
can't have any lesbians on my show!
I love the way they both like look at each other and like have a good little moment. It was quite nice.
No. That was a good match as well, WrestleMania 21.
It was, yeah. Well, especially the weird stalker lesbian element to it. That was quite fun.
That was also meant to be originally Mickie and Lita. But she got injured. Mickie gets eliminated by going to the top rope for Trish to kick her out. Nia recovers again, and despite everybody teaming up, she hulks up and kills everyone in the ring. Asuka and Trish team up, and the Bella Twins lead a suplex charge, and Nia is gone. Immediately, Sasha eliminates Bayley because there's no friends in the Rumble. LOL. Natalia locks a sharpshooter on Trish, which she breaks. When Trish gets to the ropes, what the fuck was that for?
Yeah, submission moves in the Rumble in general are just annoying, but there you
Just
go.
daft. Trish kicks Natalia out the ring as payback, an attempted stratisfaction on Sasha, and then Trish is gone, which leaves our final four as the Bella Twins, Brie and Nikki, Asuka, and Sasha Banks. We have a double knee attempt on Asuka, and the Bella strike and eliminate her. I presume that's towards, obviously, Sasha, because I haven't put her name down. That was clever of me. Brie is nearly eliminated at some point later and hangs on while Nikki takes out Asuka. And then there's betrayal. Nikki eliminates Brie.
Yeah, what was it? I wish you died in the womb. So there
God,
you go.
you did not deliver that halfway near as bad as it was. I wish you died in the womb.
It's a good point, yeah.
Asuka points at the Mania sign, nails a fucking missile drop kick, and both are down. Asuka's on the apron and locks a leg lock, and now both are on the apron to go from over the top rope. And it comes to the final strike when both are on the apron. Nikki hits first, but Asuka hits just twice as hard and knocks Nikki down to the floor. So Asuka wins the first ever women's Royal Rumble match.
Yes.
I
thought it was pretty good.
I thought it was good. I just thought, like a lot of people pointed out, it felt like a lot of the, I was going to say older women, but that's not appropriate. The women from older eras were much more over.
They were, yeah.
Which was a shame.
I think nostalgia's always over in wrestling.
I know, but some of these women are from the fucking Ruthless Aggression era and whatever era we're calling it before this current one. Reality era?
I think that is what people call it, yeah.
Again, I thought it was decent. I think there was room on this this Rumble for some NXT ladies, but obviously there's reasons behind them not being on there.
Yes. So,
and then
the match ends. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair enter the ring. Did Renee turn up to ask who she wants to pick to wrestle? I can't remember.
I can't remember, to be honest. I can't remember.
Or did they just kind of... Yeah, so she was going to make a choice, and then Bad Reputation hits, which is the walkout song for Ronda Rousey when she was the unstoppable UFC Women's Bantamweight Champion. The reason she's in WWE now is because she actually met women who could punch as well as stop her from putting an armbar on them. So she lost two matches very lopsided, and she was made to look very ordinary in mixed martial arts, which damaged her career in mixed martial arts and did cause her some personal issues, which was always bad. But it hasn't damaged her pro wrestling prospects. So here she is, a big, massive pro wrestling fan. She's actually she's Rowdy Ronda Rousey. So she loves Piper, big Piper fan. Her logo, as you could see, was done in the style of Piper, and the massively oversized leather jacket she was wearing was Roddy Piper's. Before she went out, his kids gave her the jacket. Don't know if she.
I was going to say as well. I think she got blessings from Piper to use Rowdy as a nickname.
Yeah, huge. Yeah, she's a huge mark for wrestling. Her close friends in MMA and her training partners they're known as the Four Horsewomen. I think maybe Shayna Baszler might be one. I'm not sure. There's a couple, but so this is a really big deal. This is quite a coup, I suppose you could say, for WWE. I'm not so sure about her debut. I mean, it was obviously the music hit. That was interesting. She came out. She's obviously marking out because she's got this big, massive smile on her face. Ronda Rousey in the UFC was very, when she used to come out to the cage, she always had a face like a smacked ass. Basically, she was a bit of a heel in MMA towards the end.
That's what made the home fight so much more satisfying.
Yeah, exactly. And the match she lost before she retired from MMA, I can't remember the name of the lady. But anyway, yeah. So she came out, smiles aplenty, got in the ring, kind of looked over Asuka, Bliss, and Flair, and then just awkwardly pointed at the sign for quite a while. Got out the ring, went over to Stephanie McMahon, shook her hand, even though the last time they interacted with each other, she put her in some kind of standing armbar when at WrestleMania.
Yeah, you forget as well that she offered a hand to Asuka, who
Yep.
refused it. Good
Oh yeah,
lass.
I really like Asuka. I like the way I like her mannerisms. You know, I think she's got that kind of like weird, goofy, but really majorly confident aura about her. Do you know what I mean?
She is like fucking Suzuki, who will
And I
do
think
goofy
she's
shit and
yeah,
he'll kick the absolute living daylights out
I
of you.
think she's really
Never trust.
charismatic as well.
She who was it? It might even be back to Brian Alvarez, who said she cut a fantastic promo on Raw, all in Japanese.
Yeah, so she wasn't scripted.
No, of course not. But she still, you got the emotion, you got the drive of what she was actually trying to say. I think
Yeah,
she's great, Asuka. I've
yeah.
always an eye on people that were potentially coming into NXT.
Mm.
And I remember seeing years ago a match with her, and it was like fucking the most brutal thing ever. That, and I think it was one of those things that were pre-controversial wrestling angles where she used to dress in like it's because Japan has some fucking weird obsession with SS uniforms.
Yes.
And it was like, holy shit, that's fucking backwards. And you're like, holy shit, this woman's really good at wrestling.
Yeah, she's great. And yeah, so her Rumble win, some would say, was overshadowed by Ronda coming in. I'm not so sure it was.
I think it was. I think they could have done Ronda on Raw the following night.
No, you had to do it on Rumble. It's a big
I
deal.
don't, but they always say anything can happen in the WWE. Why not do it on? There's more eyes on Raw, and it would drag more people to Raw then.
Mm,
Especially because the whole point of Ronda being in the WWE at this point is because the WWE is ultimately looking for a new television deal, and they need to have that mainstream appeal. And
she's
I get,
certainly added to that. Oh,
oh, she
huge! I
has,
think she's probably added some serious dollars to that deal when it
yeah,
happens or
she
whatever
is
happens. Yeah.
worth more to them than they are to her.
Yeah, and I hope that any eventual Asuka Ronda Rousey match that happens isn't rushed. I think that would be something very cool to build maybe to next year's Rumble, the next Mania maybe. I'm not sure, but we'll see.
I'm going to be brutally
Um,
honest. If this is exactly the same as Brock, if it's she's in for 6 shows a year, it can get fucked. I'm not. I don't really
she
want this.
said that she's full time and this is the only thing she's going to be doing, so we'll see about that. Yeah, Alvarez kind of thinks that she should be like that. Oh no, sorry, not Alvarez. Meltzer says that it would be a waste of her if she was just on
Yeah,
TV every week. He thinks that she should never wrestle on Raw and that she should only ever wrestle on big pay per views. Which I don't know if that's the case. If
I
that's
get
what they
that.
will do.
I get that. She can wrestle maybe once in a very blue moon if it's like a special Raw. But
Honestly,
she
I
does need
think
to have
I've
some
got a
people.
feeling. I've got a feeling she might do like maybe one TV match a month, and then she might wrestle at all the pay per views.
If that's the
I've just
case,
got a
then
feeling.
yeah, no. If that's the case, then disregard my
She's been
previous
yeah.
point. If she's
She's
there
been
every week and she's
training.
willing to,
Yeah, well, apparently she's been training at the performance center for months. So
well, if that's the case, then absolutely no problem whatsoever. But I don't know if these are shoot comments or if it's just the ladies working people on Twitter and all the other social media places. No one seems particularly happy with it. People do
I
seem
think
to
it's
have
the
the
latter.
sentiment.
Yeah,
Yeah, people think that it did take away from Asuka's win, which it does because ultimately the media world doesn't give a shit about her. They give a shit about the fact that the former bantamweight women's champion, who basically is one of the cornerstones of women being taken seriously in sports, along with Serena Williams and various others, which I'm not going to list here.
because
She's
you
one of the
can't.
reasons
But
because I
please, good.
can't.
Go on.
I'm a super sexist. Low women, get back in the kitchen. I'm pulling a Jeff Jarrett,
Oh God.
barefoot and pregnant. But
Yeah, no, it
it's
was
just yeah, no.
interesting.
I did think it took away from the end of it. I think it could have gone on Raw,
Hmm.
but
But it didn't, and now we actually have very open-ended storylines for the women's matches at WrestleMania because nothing was actually decided.
I'm not optimistic, but I would love to be fucking proven wrong. I'd love to be talking
Hmm.
about this in 6 months' time, going, "Oh my god, she's like the most fucking impressive wrestler on the whole show."
Oh, she's a judo. She was a judo Olympian, so she knows she no in terms
She's
of
a wrestling fan as well,
yeah.
which is probably going
She's
to
taken it.
fucking help a lot.
She's taking it very seriously, supposedly. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
for fucks. I want to be impressed. Just at this
Yeah.
point in time, I'm of the sentiment that this Royal Rumble was a very massive event for the women involved. It should have been just the person who won this. It should have been all attention on her instead. All eyes on the world are on Ronda Rousey, which I
Mm.
think is very Hogan of her. But I don't
Well,
know.
yeah,
She,
but
she obviously didn't book this.
she's a superstar outside of wrestling, so therefore
Exactly.
she gets top billing, similar to Brock, I suppose, because he came back as a superstar from outside of wrestling.
Yeah, but I get the impression he likes his paycheck more than wrestling, even though he's got a very easy job.
Certainly. And that brings us to the end of the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
Overall, I thought it was a good show. Both Rumble matches were interesting and got some storylines to come out of it. You know what? Both title pictures right now in the early stages of lead up to WrestleMania are kind of boring, I think. But we'll see how that develops up until WrestleMania.
I think at
I'm
the
pretty
moment,
yeah.
sorry, mate, go on.
No, go on.
I was going to say, I think for the WWE Championship, they need to basically they've got to hold off AJ and Nakamura interacting as much until they get. So this is why we've got the Sammy and Kevin storyline continuing.
Well, SmackDown after after Royal Rumble was AJ and Nakamura against Owens and Zayn. So yeah.
Yeah, but I think for one-on-one interactions, they won't be doing as much until after that is concluded.
Mm.
Raw, obviously, we're going towards Elimination Chamber. I think it's
Roman
pretty
Reigns
much
is going to
Roman
go
Reigns,
over.
yeah. Baby cakes, whatever the fuck.
Mm.
Believe that. I think it's Roman's time. I know he's going to get booed out the fucking building.
I
If
like him.
everything,
I've
I like him
turned
as
full
well.
circle on him. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I like him as well.
You know, I love John Cena now as well.
Yeah, I know.
I've turned into a anti-smart these days. These people that I used to hate, I really enjoy now.
Well, I'm going through my 2007 with Cena, and he is pretty much insufferable at this point. But that's because
Yeah.
the other players in the world title scene deserve chances, and they just don't get them. And this
Mm.
is why we have a situation at this point where we've got the one guy as opposed to four guys. But that's their booking. That's how they've been since Hogan. But again, I'm interested to see how they get to the conclusion, which is going to be Roman standing tall at the end of Mania.
Yes.
Unless, of course, Brock re-signs and then they can set up him and Lashley for Universal title.
Oh, God, I don't think that's going to
Oh,
happen.
God.
Right. Well, that brings us to an end to episode 13.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't know is it Elimination Chamber next or is it Fastlane?
I'm gonna guess it's Elimination Chamber, but
Cool.
could be wrong. Let's start. Let me check. Elimination
6 hours
Chamber.
later.
1 minute. So yeah, Elimination Chamber is next. We'll be there for that. That's on February 25th. So we've got a few weeks to wait. Yeah. Cool. First main show WWE. Well, first main WWE show of the year. Did do Tokyo Dome, which was the first show of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, we'll move on to Elimination Chamber. Thanks for listening. You can listen to us on SoundCloud. You just search Smarks for Attitude there, on iTunes. Again, Smarks About Attitude. If you want to email us, should probably check that, but that's smarksforattitude@gmail.com.
You've been threatening to do that for about 8 months.
I have. I'm so lazy. And yeah, Twitter, SWA_podcast. You can find us there. And yeah, thanks for listening. It's a goodbye from me, Reese, and a goodbye from Harry.
And it's a goodbye from me. Cheers, guys.
Cool. See you later.